Now remember, Matthew 24 is Jesus showing what the world looks like as he is coming in the clouds with all of his angels with him, which he does in chapter 25 and verse 31, where The Rock, whatever his name is, comes in with a helicopter and saves his wife, and Los Angeles crumbles. All of a sudden, it's really happening. And it says that people, I love the word. It's a Greek word that's so descriptive. It says, verse 26, men's hearts, and you know what the next word is? Apsuko, suke, as in psyche. It speaks of the non-material part of us, and apo means from. And what it means is their spirits leave them. They die of fright. They just collapse and have a massive heart attack or stroke on the spot and die from fear. It's going to be amazing to be alive when there are global weather times going wild. And it says in Matthew 24:8, that's just the beginning. And the Greek word sorrows, the beginning of sorrows in Matthew, literally means birth pangs. And it's all the creation is under the curse of sin, so all of it is starting to have contractions. And Romans 8:21 says that because the creation itself will be delivered from the bondage of corruption. And so what's happening is the whole universe is starting to feel this transition that it's going through. It's groaning because of sin. And God says, I'm going to deliver you. And there's just all these convulsions going on. The Bible predicts that the entire world will see certain events unfold. The invention of the television and the deployment of global satellite networks during the 20th century allow news to travel the world at the speed of light for the first time. Remember, in the Apostle John's day, news traveled at the speed of horse. There was a period of time when the army was still fighting and their emperor had died and a new emperor was in and the war was over. But for months they kept fighting. Because the horse had the ride and then the boat and then the courier and they got waylaid and it never made it and they kept fighting. And now people on Twitter know things before the news networks know them. Because the world is connected. It's never been before the 20th century. And what did Jesus say in Matthew 24:14? He said that this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to the nations, and the end will come. This gospel must first be preached to all the nation. Today, portions of the entire Bible have been translated into 2,300 languages and dialects covering 90% of all the world's population. Never before. The sign of global evangelism. And then pestilence. I mean, we could go on and on about this. We've heard and thought about it. Despite an increase in scientific knowledge, deadly disease, which the Bible calls pestilence, will be prevalent. Verse 7 of Matthew 24 says, nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And what we have is famines and pestilences. And then he said there's going to be this global tracking and positioning with digital money. We don't even think anything of it. Look, these are our friends. Look, this is our friend. Everyone has one in their pocket, or most everyone. Did you know these only work if they can instantly go to your account from the gas station and see whether or not you're legit and any suspicious holds are on you? Then it comes all the way back to the gas station and approves it, and then you put it in the gas, and then it goes all the way back to that bunker under Omaha where all this is kept, the clearinghouse, and they knew exactly the geographic spot you used that card. And then how about, Venmo and PayPal and Square Cash, and I could fill the board with them. I mean, these are really neat. It's going to be possible, what it says in Revelation, through digital money, global tracking and positioning, through Apple Pay and ePay and PayPal and Venmo and on, instant access to our money is making one person able to control the world. You see, we can control people financially. And then, these are the old ones, the sign of weapons of mass destruction. Look at this. This is a headline I clipped. The doomsday clock's most dire warning since the Cold War. This is the closest to midnight the doomsday clock has ever been in the lifetime of almost everyone in this room, and that was stated January 26, 2017. Now, that was a negative response to our current president, but it's a reminder that both the United States and Russia have enough to kill everybody over and over again, and the horrible weapons of mass destruction are proliferating, and we don't even need to talk about that. We know that. And then global religion and the return of the wandering Jews to the promised land. That is the hard-to-miss event that the focal point of the United Nations and most news services have become the Middle East. And if it's not Islamic something, it's Israeli something, and this is what the world wants. They want us to coexist. And they want the Islamics to get along with the Jews, and they want us all to, kind of be very smoothly Oriental, with Hinduism and Buddhism and all the Eastern religions, and they want the cross to fit in there, along with the drug culture and the peace and everything else and Satanism, and we want to get along. And there is coming a global religion where there's going to be a proponent of getting along, and he's going to promise peace and safety, and everybody's going to listen to him. And what Jesus did not accomplish, he couldn't get everybody to worship him, the Antichrist will get. Everyone except those that are sealed by God. And all the rest of the world will worship the other Christ, not the real one. Sadly, one of the worst events of all time. And then there's this global desire for peace and prosperity and materialism. Jesus said that the world is going to be just like in the days of Noah, and it will be. God says there's 7 events coming in the future. The next one is when he comes for his church. And the only thing Jesus told us is to be ready. And Paul repeated it. He said, live every day ready, as if it was your last. How long is it since we've thought about that? That's what we're thinking about all day long. We're supposed to be saying, even so, come quickly, Lord Jesus. Let me not be ashamed before you at your coming, the Apostle John said. And then comes the judgment seat of Christ. Be holy. Christ will test our lives. Some that turn many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. And some who don't will be saved. Yet, so as through fire. The tribulation, be thankful. Christ will keep us from that hour. The second coming, be patient. Christ is going to right all wrongs. Even every ethnic wrong, every environmental wrong, every wrong in this world, all the secret sins and all the wicked things that have gone on. He said, I'm going to write them all. Don't worry. Be patient. Be focused. Christ is going to perfect the earth. Yeah, I've seen so many Christians who are trying to save the earth. Don't worry. Jesus is going to. Okay? He's going to fix it all back. And nothing's going to be polluted, nothing's going to be poisonous, and nothing's going to be bad. And the rivers are going to be life-giving, and the death and destruction is going to roll back, as well as warfare and everything else. Be patient. Don't focus your life on something Christ says, I'm in charge of that.